Hello everyone, welcome back to another Why the fuck did I buy this video, aka What the fuck did I read? And I took some suggestions from Twitter. I asked people, give me your cringiest or terrible comics for me to read and I'll suffer for your entertainment. And thanks to Vile Corruption or Corrupt, he suggested three. I'm going to talk about two of them, Superfreaks and Lady Castle. And if you're not familiar with Corrupt, he's a cringe connoisseur. His whole channel is just dedicated to the cringe, the absolute worst of the worst, push you to the brink of suicide. So I was expecting it to be terrible if Corrupt is going to recommend it. It's still bad, but I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't as cringy as I thought it was. But it's still bad. So we'll start off with Super Freaks. This is by script by Elsa Charity and Pierre Collinet. Script. This is a comic, not a TV show. You are the writers. Artwork by Margot Saltel, cover by Stephen Byrne, yada 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 yada. So basically the plot of Super Freaks is that this is a world where people get superpowers from a 1956 VW van that shoots magical beams. I don't know what to think of that. But we're introduced to one of the main characters, Blue Aura. Meet Blue Aura, strong as 1,000 bears, smart as a whip. How are whips smart? They're inanimate objects. She could run the world, so why isn't she? As we've seen here, she's clumsy as hell. Knocks over a picture frame like an idiot. I'm just kidding, but she's clumsy as hell. If you see later on, she's not particularly good at public speaking. I think if you want to run the world, you have to be a good speaker who's gonna follow you. But basically, all the heroes have gone missing, and all that's left is just the sidekicks. And TOX News. This is supposed to be their version of Fox News. TOX News. I wonder what TOX is short for. Toxic. It's toxic news. Of course, because Fox is just garbage. Any pretty much news channel is just terrible. But the guy here is just like, the heroes have disappeared, and what do the sidekicks do instead of looking for them? Hold a press conference. Four Eyes. They're holding a press conference to ease the public, to give them some form of relief. If they also just disappeared looking for the missing heroes, then I think there would be a bigger, how would I say this, a bigger scare for the public, because not only are the heroes gone, but the sidekicks are gone. Who's going to protect us if anything happens? So, but this is just to show how incompetent the sidekicks are, because they really are. Moving forward, Blue Aura is getting cyberbullied. How dare they cyberbully future president of the world, Blue Aura? And this is the tamest cyberbullying I have ever seen. The only really mean thing that's said is by this user called Wake Up Stupid. Totally, how is she supposed to be taking care of us when she can't even handle her own weight? And she replies with, I believe the shape of my body is in no way related to my ability to protect people of the earth. It helps to be fit. Weight can really slow you down, That's why you don't see Superman or Captain America extremely obese, because what they do pretty much every day would burn a lot of calories. So that's why they're always muscular. They're not fat, because they're always out saving the day using a lot of energy. That's why I remember someone did these pictures just like, here's a superheroes realistically with like realistic bodies, and it's just like, no, that's not realistic for superheroes, because they would never get fat, because they're burning so much energy, they're using so much energy fighting crime or whatever, so they would never be fat. And then she decides to delete her account. Got a few more users just saying, "You suck." You have one, Pepe Forever, saying, "You suck." Rest in peace, Pepe. He's still being used and abused. The funny frog, he can't get a rest. And there's one guy called the White Knight, and he's there to kind of protect her, but not really. The White Knight says, "I'd steal her," and then 2 users later, he says, "Poor kid can't even handle a little social media heat. No way I'm putting my life in that brunch of crybabies." Is that an error? That brunch of crybabies' hands. I think they meant bunch, but the editor fell asleep and didn't notice that the writer accidentally put brunch. Brunch of crybabies' hands makes no sense at all. But going back to this whole White Knight thing, the White Knight is supposed to be for the women, and this is like the worst example of a White Knight. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm kind of here to protect her, but I'm gonna just say I would have sex with her, and then later on side with everyone else. That it's kind of a contradiction in a way. I'll skip these the next like middle part, because it's extremely boring and nothing really happens. But we're introduced to one of the villain sidekicks, Red, which is a lazy name. Hello, I am Red. Fear me. And we get a look at Blue Aura's power, and she can create like copies of herself. But the thing is, the copies of herself are yellow. But her name is Blue Aura. If her name's Blue Aura, you would expect that these copies would be blue, but they're yellow, so why isn't she called Yellow Aura? Anyway, some failed attempt of trying to be funny in some way, I don't know why. We have this random long-haired dude with his boyfriend. Man bun, weird-looking fancy man moustache. Don't know what to make of it. And then we're introduced to this other new character, Olympe. Her name is Olympe. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I've never seen anyone with that name, let alone know how to pronounce it. So she gets chosen by the mystical van that's not in the sky, and she goes, "What the bleepin' bleep?" Oh my, that's comedy gold right there. That's very that's terrible actually. It's not funny at all. It's just like the joke is that she's supposed to say what the fucking hell, but she says, or what the fucking fuck, but she says what the bleepin' instead. It's not funny, but she gets powers. Then she goes home and cries. Not really. She goes sit at the table with her 2 brothers, who are arguing on whether the mighty van belonged to Jesus Christ himself. And she says, logically, the mighty van appeared like 2,000 years after Jesus' alleged death, right? And they go complain to their mummy that she's being mean to them, despite the fact she is pretty much behind them. So any normal mother would know to just be like, okay, calm down, whatever. You know, she knows that the daughter's not being mean. But until you see what the mother says next. So Limpei says, there you go again, punishing me for opening my mouth. I'm punishing you for being a little savage. You will mind your manners and shut your blubber hole when the men in this house are talking. It's a patriarchal household, everybody. Why? Why is this a thing? I don't know if the writers know what savage means. I assume they're going with the lit emoji, savage, 100, 100, 100. But I don't think the writers or this mum knows what, like, savage really means. She's not acting like a savage. She's kind of talking back, but to be fair, she's living in a patriarchal household, so she writes savage 3 times into her book, and it causes the house to be lifted up by this giant hand and fly. The thing is, when you first see her powers, she writes enough, and then the word enough appears and gets everyone to kind of shut up because they're all arguing with one another before she disappears. I don't know how the words savage become grab, manifest as a hand, lift the house up, and fly. What is that? So this, so that was the first one. Superfreaks is just Tumblr the comic, pretty much. The art style is very Tumblr-ish. Let's go to Lady Castle, where the art is not Tumblr, pure trash. So Lady Castle, this is by Boom Studios, written and created by Delilah S. Dawson, illustrated by Ashley A. Woods, lettered by Jim Campbell, cover by Ashley A. Woods, and oh look, the writer of Superfreaks, Elsa Charretier, with colors by Margot Satel. Colors, not covers. Who was also on Superfreaks. I can see why this is terrible. So, the basic story of Lady Castle is the patriarchy sucks, pretty much, is what the initial premise of Lady Castle is. All the women are kind of have to do what the men say because the men are the rulers. The king is literally called Man Castle. Okay, so we're introduced to Princess Ave, who I literally thought she was a snake person because of how her eyes are drawn and because of the color of their eyes. I thought, no, she was a snake person and then would turn into a snake later on. She also has a 2-headed pet snake. So I thought she was a snake person, you know, kind of like how in the recent Fantastic Beasts, Dan Didio's snake Nagini turned out to be a hot Asian woman who would eventually turn into a not hot Asian woman snake. But no, it's just weirdly drawn eyes. So the women are just living their lives, having to do everything because, I don't know, where they find out that all the men are kidnapped or dead because the king refused to pay the toll and a wizard cursed them. and everyone. Curse the whole kingdom for now monsters will appear in the kingdom. So, pretty much like Excalibur rise. If you wield Excalibur, you're the true king. Excalibur-looking sword appears, and the blacksmith Marinol takes it because she's a blacksmith. So of course she's going to be obsessed with what kind of metal it is, and she becomes King Marinol. She's a woman. It's queen regardless. Like Queen Elizabeth is the queen, but Prince Charles is not the king because the queen is the one that's in charge. She doesn't, just because she's in charge, she doesn't call herself King Elizabeth II. No, stop it. And since there's only one guy left in a group of women, he's already just made out to be a massive fucking cuck. It's just it's like, we need to train more knights, and it's just like, I consent to this impossible task. Give me your strongest girls. You mean women? That's right. Strong girls are sometimes called women. Enough of your disrespect. Heed your king and serve the castle, or be gone. Thought. And here is, like, the art is just terrible regardless, just terrible throughout, except for that one part with the wizard. That's the only part where the art is actually good. Here is just where the art is completely terrible. So, Ave and her younger sister Gwyneth are talking, and Ave is lying on the bed, but look at how it's drawn. What the actual fuck is that? Like, you can see the edge of where the bed is, but for some reason, 3/4 of her body can be clearly seen, despite the fact that if she is laying on the bed, you would not see anything past this. So if I laid down with my arms by my side, you would not see anything past that because it's flat on the bed. But this, you can see all of it. Really kind of no indicator that it's kind of a flopped over the bed, so flat and then goes over the bed. No, this is who let this go through? Did the artist just draw the person beforehand and just realize, fuck, she's supposed to be lying on a bed. Shit, I better fix this somehow, and just drew an inverted upside down L. Oh god, so that was Lady Castles. That was a piece of shit as well. But the thing is, like, why I was disappointed with these suggestions by Corrupt is while they have like a couple cringy moments, they're incredibly boring. And like, who is the demographic? For Superfreaks, I'm gonna say Tumblr. For Lady Castle, I have no idea who is the market for Lady Castle. They're both terrible. Don't pick them up. It's a waste of, like, I think they were like $1.99 each on Comixology. It was just it's an absolute pain to read them. I hate myself, even more than usual. So that was it for What the Fuck Did I Read? Thank you for joining in my suffering. I'll see you all in the next video.